Welcome to Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, a podcast where we head down the road of the supernatural and beyond. So sit back and hold on as we take a ride together to what lies in the unknown and beyond the veil. Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson presents guest host, intuitive psychic and medium Kelly Boyer. Kelly grew up in California, but relocated to Arizona, where she currently resides with her teenage son and 5 fur children. She has had psychic and mediumistic gifts most of her life. As an intuitive psychic, Kelly can provide insight and direction for her clients. As a medium, she can connect her clients with loved ones who have crossed over. It is a very intimate and soulful connection she makes with her clients and spirit when using her gifts. This path has been an incredible blessing in many ways. It has allowed her to assist clients in locating their missing loved ones, guide people toward their purpose, and help them heal by providing evidence that life continues after death. And now your host, Daniel Jackson, with the conclusion of Medium to Medium.
Why not talk?
And so I always try to tell them, I'm like, Spirit wants you to, like, especially if it's for a partner, because, you know, you always get those love questions. And I'm like,
Yes.
Don't ask for, like, I want, like, again, the hot blonde with, like, that, with the skinny waist, the big rack, because that's not really what Spirit is. They want you to talk about, they want you to ask for, I really want somebody who is loving, or I really want somebody, you know, we're talking about, like, the core character of, like, a person, a core character, the soul, right, of the person. But so I struggle with that, and people get a little upset at me because I'm like, it's not about looks, because when your soul connects, your soul isn't seeing, like, the, you know, the big rack and the blonde hair.
Right. When I was telling my wife when I was on a dating site, because that's how we actually met, that I would say, well, can you send me a picture? Well, you're probably not going to like it. I said, well, I'm not going to like it unless I see the picture.
Right.
But you don't. I like all sorts of women. I like tall, short, bigger or smaller, whatever. I like them. I'm not into the twigs, you know, because who wants to cuddle with a twig? Nobody does. So
Doesn't keep you very warm, does it?
Yeah. I don't want to rub her 2 legs together and make a fire. So or pull her legs apart and go, oh, do I make a wish now?
Right.
No.
I was like,
Yeah. I don't want. I wish I could put it back together. But no. But I like what I like, and I'm not going to know. But I always tell them, you know, you could be great looking, but if you're not holding up your conversation, you're not holding it. If you don't have a good sense of humor, then it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Because my sense of humor is off the fucking hook. I said, you got to pay attention to what I say, because if you say something, I'm like a basketball player. I'm going to come up with a layup. And so I would, oh, okay. And well, yeah, I think I got a pretty good sense of humor. Okay. I said, if you have a great sense of humor, you just went from being a 7 to being a 10 with me.
right. And that's part of who they are.
That's what's going to attract me to you. And when you say funny things, man, I mean, I'm just going to, like, I'm lit up on fire at that point.
Right.
Yeah, not a twin flame. Okay, but better throw a cup of water on me or take a cold shower. But that's not going to work out because I'm going to be touching myself in a cold shower. Anyway, so anyway, I just say stuff. But you have to be out there. You're going to find love if you go out and find love.
Like you gotta.
It could come and bump into you at a grocery store. Maybe.
But you're out. Right?
But you're out. Yeah, you're not sitting behind a computer and going, I'm such a wonderful guy. And, oh, where do you go out? Let me think about that. Oh, I go out to parks and stuff like that, even though you don't go out to parks. And, you can't lie about things, because if you do, then what are you really getting into at that moment? You're already starting a relationship on a lie, and that's not going to help you.
Yeah, it's not, and it's just going to go to crap.
I met all those, yes.
Yeah.
So absolutely. But they ask the unimportant part of the question.
Yes. And I don't think that they really realize that, but because we, you know, like, I don't want to say that we have that special knowledge, but, like, Spirit is really about what's important in life. You know, what's the meaning in life and those types of things. So we get that information rather than, I don't want to necessarily say superficial, because I mean, if I see a hot guy, I'm like, yeah, that guy is hot. But, you know, if you open your mouth and nothing but dumb comes out, we're not going to be able to relate to one another.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
I totally get that. Because when women walk by me, they go, man, that's a fucking hot guy. And I go, yeah. No, they don't do that.
Oh.
So, I get that. But people have to get to the fact that, you know, eventually your shit's going to get old, you know.
It's going to be saggy. It's going to get wrinkled.
Yeah.
You're going to get gray hairs and spots that you never thought you would.
Yeah, I would love to help you tie your shoe, but your boobs are in the way. So yeah.
Here, let me move those over for you.
Just lay down. They'll flop over. It's okay. But yeah, but I feel as though the reason why we are sometimes the way they are, or why they're asking those questions, and you'll probably agree with me here, but TV and movies have screwed it up for us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
They want you to believe that everybody is a psychic, but not everybody is a psychic.
No.
Everybody is a medium, and everybody gets the answers the same exact way. Spirit's coming directly to you and telling you exactly what they want to hear. And that's not just
that's
the
not.
truth.
It's not.
Or I like to watch the TV show. I've been watching it again, Supernatural. And Sam and Dean Winchester, and they're out fighting demons, and they see angels, and they have wings and all that stuff. And people actually believe
that's the way that it is.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
I tell them all the time. I see archangels. They don't have wings. They're not men with wings. They don't have a shield. They don't have a sword. They're not fighting a battle in heaven because, as we would believe, people tell us all bad demons and stuff like that hang out in hell. So who would they actually be fighting in heaven if no bad person's there?
Right.
Oh, I guess nobody. Yeah, nobody. And you know why? Because none of that stuff exists anyway. So,
right.
Yeah, but having to... I do interviews on other shows, and I have to explain all that to them because I'm trying to... I'm not trying to reprogram them. I'm just trying to open them up and let them think about it a little bit and go, oh, this actually is bullshit, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
If you would actually stop thinking in the way they want you to think about it. And because the reason they try to get people off track with that is because they don't want to, they don't want, people who are in power and control of everybody don't want you to know how much power and control you could have over yourself.
Yeah, your own.
If you got in touch with yourself.
Right? I say that same thing. I'm like, you have no idea how much power you have. And you have to let go of all of that control, all of that bullshit that you've been conditioned with since you were before you even came out of the womb, right?
Right, yeah. You because you come in, because we're conditioned in a way when you come back into this world, you wake up in a baby body and you got two people going, hi, we're your mommy and daddy. And you're going, I don't know who the fuck you are, but okay, I guess so. And then you believe they are your parents, which they are sort of your parents because they raised you, but they created the body. They did not create your soul.
Right.
Your soul came into this body to learn certain lessons and all that stuff. So when I tell people, if you have a brother or sister and they're a piece of crap to you, that doesn't mean you have to talk to them just because they're your brother and sister.
Exactly, right?
You don't have to talk to anybody. There's nothing in a real rule book, because there's no real rule book, because the other book, no. So, but you don't have to pay attention to anyone else just because everyone else tells you you have to. You have to do what's best for you and what you feel is best. And if you have negative people in your life, it's like a singer in an audience, and you're gonna be the audience member, and they're gonna sing all their bullshit to you.
Yep.
You could also just go, I don't like this concert.
I'm going to leave.
I'm going to leave and walk away. Yeah. But
and
they have a hard time with it.
And I think it's that idea of, we're blood related.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. I mean, maybe that's to tell who you are if you go commit a crime or something,
Sure.
but I'm just yeah, but I want to be soul related,
right.
Because I do believe I feel like I have this soul tribe, my little soul gang of people that are, that help me again,
yes.
hence soulmates. Right.
Yes.
But to me, I'm like, well, blood is just like a human thing.
Yes.
And it's not a spiritual, it's not a soul thing.
It's a physical thing.
Yeah. And by the way, you're really just energy.
Yes.
When it really comes down to it, you're really just energy. You have slow moving molecules of your atoms, which creates your skin.
Right. And that's it.
Yeah. Right. If you know anything about physics, but I'm just no, it's not about blood. You're just energy. And
yeah. You just happen to be part of that family,
yeah.
But I always tell them, you're actually part of a larger family.
Yeah.
You're part of the soul family.
Right.
You don't come from here. You're just here learning things. And then when you get done here, if you choose to go back into what we call heaven, you'll go back there and report back and all that stuff. And maybe you have to come back. Maybe you don't. Or you just choose to not go back home. You remain here wandering around going, what am I going to do now? But yeah, you're part of a larger family. And if you understood that everybody back at that family is really nice to each other, How come we're not really nice to each other here?
I are you asking me that question?
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay. You're just putting it out there, and I'm like, well, we're all learning different things.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we are. All
we really are. We're all learning different things, and
we need to learn differently, which means we need to teach differently, because the only thing we've been teaching each other is that you're not good enough, you're not skinny enough, or you're not tall enough, or you're not smart enough. And they're always putting it in our, well, you got to look, girls, you got to look like this model here. You got to be like a twig and stuff like that. And but now all of a sudden, now we have plus size stores and
right.
plus size models and stuff like that. Because you know why? Because not everybody is attracted to that. Some people are attracted to this. And
right.
we're starting to figure these things out. But we still can't get past the, I'm better than you, I need to have power over you.
Yeah.
Type of thing, or we need to start a war because I don't like you and you don't like me. But the only people who seem to not like each other are just the ones who are actually in power over everybody else. So we need to teach them, but they just don't want to listen. So we have to. This is a part of what we do as mediums or psychics. Is we're hoping to provide them information because Spirit wants us to live a better life, and if we can get it out there enough, hopefully it'll be like the commercial back in the 70s when you put your shampoo on, and I love this shampoo, and I'm going to tell my friends, and they're going to tell their friends.
Yeah,
and so on,
like the ripple effect, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing that is, I feel very grateful to been blessed to like do this work, right? Because part of that is even just sharing moments with the people that you read for.
Right.
Because, especially as doing mediumship work, people come to you because they're hurting and they need to heal. And
they need some peace. They need some clarity. They need some validation of why is this happening to me? And they don't understand the true reason of why it's happening to them.
Yeah. And, when you're able to share that or even share their messages from their loved ones that have passed or just spend that extra time with them to let them be able to grieve or to be themselves. Because, a lot of times when we're grieving, what do we hear? Oh, don't worry about it. With time, you'll heal. And that shuts the person down to even want to share or even want to, or even want to think about a medium, right? Because oh my gosh, I'm going to go to this medium and people aren't going to think that I'm going to heal. But one of the things I really enjoy besides sharing the messages is being able to be that person that can, be there for them, hold their hand and allow them to start that healing process.
Right. Because when I talk to people, when I tell people things, what they need to understand is that conversation that we're going to have is going to be a very, what we would call an intimate conversation.
Yes.
They're going to talk to me about some things that they don't even tell their spouses or loved ones, because these are the things that have been bothering them for so long. And then when I'm able to get them answers for that, it's like that's where their moment comes in. This epiphany moment that comes in that takes all that pain and all that sorrow they've been building up to till now, and now they know they can finally let it go.
Right. It's like they can release that pressure release, and it's just like it's all expelling out, right?
And when you're doing that for someone, isn't that the best thing in the world?
It is.
It gives you a high that you're helping someone. And my very first reading I ever did at this festival, professional reading, this kid came over and sat down in front of me. And as soon as he sat in front of me, I said, I want to hold your hand because I want to see who's here with you. But before I even did that, I got a message that said, he's a medium. He gets messages. And I said, wait a minute. And he said, he looked at me with this nervous look like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm getting something here. I said, oh, you see spirit, you hear them, you feel them, you see them all around you. You're just like me, but you're not understanding what it is. He broke down in tears in front of me, started crying.
Oh.
And he's crying his eyes out. And I said, it's okay. I'm going to help you. I'll help you get on your way. At the end of it, he hugged me so freaking hard. Him and I were both bawling our eyes out at the same time. But because he's like, I was so hoping that you was going to pick up on this. Everyone I ever talked to, they always told me I'm crazy or I'm weird.
Right.
Said, you're not crazy.
You're not crazy. You're not weird.
This is real.
You're just like everyone else.
Now you need to embrace it, and now you need to move forward with it. But that's when you get to do those types of things, people ask me, why do I do this? When I get to do that, that's why I do
Yeah,
this.
it just,
When that lady called on the phone earlier, and then I was telling her things to do things, and then she was like, "Oh my God, yeah, you're right. He's doing this and this and this," and she was like so thankful, and she's like, "Thank you so much."
yeah, she was.
And I was like, click, and basically wanted to turn around and say, "That's why I do this because you get to help them.
Yeah, and
You get to help people every day."
yeah, and it really is amazing. I don't know about you, but like, like I said, you get to help them heal, but it heals me too.
You know about me.
Yeah.
Because we know about you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but I heal too from it. And the one thing too, I don't know about you, but a lot of times, like well, I'm sure it's the same, but like you give readings and then people come back like a month later and they're like, "Do you remember when you told me this, and this?" And I'm like, "No,
not really."
I'm like, I don't really remember what I say to you. As soon as we're done, that information is not for me. The only information that is for me that I remember from it is something that I need too.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I really love about giving readings is that I get help too.
Yes. It's not just about them. It's about you. And the same thing. Yeah, they'll come up to me. Do you remember? And I go, no. I will. I always tell them when I'm going to have a reading with you, make sure you bring a pencil and paper or record it because the messages that's coming through, it's not for me. It's for you. And so I'm not going to remember it all because basically sometimes it's just a channeled message.
Yeah.
So record it, but I get something out of it too, but not your message. Your message is for you.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really like too.
Because then spirit at that point is kind of thanking you for being able to relay a message to someone else, and when you're getting again that love feeling from them, I mean that's it's hard for me to. After a reading, it's hard for me to go to sleep sometimes. Because I'm so energized.
So on that high, huh?
Yeah.
That spirit high is what I call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Write that down.
People always ask me, don't you get so exhausted? And I'm like, no. Like with each reading, it's like I amp up more and more and more. And then, if I have a day of readings, there's no way that I'm sleeping that night.
Yeah, I did a reading one time that affected me, and I picked up on it because of it. That day, I was sick, okay, coming out of both ends type of sick.
Oh, wow.
And I told the woman, I said, look, I just want to let you know I've not been feeling well today. And she said, do you want to reschedule? I said, no. I said, sometimes I get some energy from this. By the time that thing was over, I was no longer sick.
It's healing, right? It heals you in all aspects.
And I was like, I went upstairs to my wife and said, I feel better now. Everything's good. She's like, I said, yeah, nothing. Because before that, it was coming out of both ends. But at that point, I was like, I'm great now. And, and she said, why do you think that happened? And then at that moment, I said, because when I'm getting that soul, that energy that's coming into me and that loving energy and all that stuff, it's also healing me, making me feel better too.
Right.
And then I'm okay. People don't. But even though it does take some energy out of me to get answers for them, but still I'm receiving energy at the same time. So it's a constant flow. And
it's very much a give and take.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's people. But do the people I'm doing a reading for need to know that? No. You got something out of it, but so did I.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thanking them for coming to the reading and stuff like that, and they're always giving me hugs, but I'm giving them a hug back because I mean this really is, as I tell my wife, this is an intimate conversation we're having.
And they're coming to you so vulnerable too.
Yes, and I have to pour out my own vulnerabilities as well because of experiences I've had.
Right.
Do you feel? Here's a question for you. Do you feel that when you're doing a reading for someone, at that moment, not that you would be a licensed person to do this, but do you feel as though sometimes you are being a psychologist to them? You are helping them through this with your own experiences, with your own deciphering of this.
Yes, I do feel that way. I think that's why if you do look me up, I mean, my business name is Healing Through Mediumship. But it's also, Kelly Boyer, visionary intuitive consultant. Because I don't feel like putting counselor on there is appropriate. But like even consulting, right? When you're listening to them, you are providing them guidance, and you are trying to help them work through whatever emotional roller coaster that they're on. And but yeah, I do feel like that's part of what our role is to do that. Here, I have a question for you. So, sometimes you have people that come to you, right? And they're just so devastated that they lost like the love of their life. And I feel like Spirit uses my past experiences of like, working in mental health, working in probation, and now working in crisis, right? When it comes to somebody and you pick up on the fact that they're suicidal.
Yes.
I always tell them that, hey, I'm going to guide you, but if you're going to harm yourself or harm somebody else, and I pick up on that, I do feel like I have a duty to warn, and that I will follow through to do whatever I need to do to keep you safe or anybody else safe.
Yes, absolutely. Because if I feel that they're going to do something to harm themselves later on because they just can't get through something, I will tell them, even though you're here talking with me, I feel as though you do need to talk to someone else as well. Don't feel, I tell them all the time, you have Spirit around you all the time. You're never alone. No one is ever alone. And if you can't get enough from them, then find someone else who can talk you through this. Because if you're having that much pain that you're not getting the answers that you want, you need to find the answers somewhere else.
Right.
Because, like I tell them, I'm one medium, but there's a bunch of them out there. And I always tell them a lot too, that if you're coming to a medium, that you're asking me specific questions about certain things, I get information a certain way. If I can't get that information for you, I'm not going to go out of my lane and just say, well, do this instead. I'm going to tell you, you know what? I can't get that kind of information for you. But I know this medium named Kelly Boyer. You go to her because that's the way she gets her information, and she can do that for you.
I do the same thing, because really here's what, and I know I really don't hate saying this, but like, the mediums that will sit there and be like, da, 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 like you're saying, like, give them what they want to give them,
right? But
not like the medium giving them what they want to give them, but not giving what the person needs, right?
Right.
I would like, to me, it makes me sick just thinking even about doing that. So if I can't give it to you, if I can't give you what it is that you're needing to heal, because I feel like everything is really truly about healing.
Everything is.
Then I'm gonna suggest someone or send you to someone who can give that to you, because that's part of what our work is, right? Ooh, I got goosebumps on that. Yeah. That's part of what our work is to make sure that people, like, we're supposed to take care of each other, not harm each other.
Right.
And that breaks my heart to know that does happen out there, because I have had people come to me and they're like, this medium told me this, this, and this, and then I start to get information and I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not what it is.
Yes, I do the same thing.
Yeah, and because again, like, we're here to help each other.
Right.
Because we want to help each other grow and expand and become the best that we could be and fulfill our purpose. And my purpose is not going to be what your purpose is or what the person that comes to me. We all have our individual journeys.
We all basically have the same kind of purpose, but you're going to do it in a way that's best for you to do it, and I do it in my way. That's just different. That's because we're just different people.
Yeah, and
we all perceive the world differently, so
exactly
we do it differently. That's all. Yeah.
So
I will, if I can't fulfill it, I will pass it off with someone else I know who can. I had a guy come to me for a reading one time, and I said, because I always ask, how did you find out about me? And he said, oh, my therapist sent me here to you. And I didn't know who it was, but now I know who it was later on. But even the therapist, he couldn't get answers that his therapist wanted, or he couldn't get the answers he wanted. His therapist couldn't do it for him. And but even this guy, I find people try to trick me sometimes because they want to find out if you're authentic.
If you're real.
Yes.
If you're the real deal is what I hear. I always hear that after they leave. Oh my gosh, you're the real deal. And I'm like, so was this a test? But
Yes.
but truthfully, even if they come in skeptical
Yeah.
or come in trying to challenge you,
Yeah.
I firmly believe there's a reason why they came to me, and I gave them what Spirit wanted them to have. They may not
Right.
know it now,
But they will.
but
know.
they will know it. Yeah.
I did an interview on a guy's podcast, and he wanted to know He wanted to know exactly why his sister that he never met, who was born 3 years before he was, that passed away, wanted to know why she died. Why did she have to die? I said, well, everyone dies because when it's your time to go, it just is.
It's time to go.
That's it. When she's not supposed to be here anymore. But we loved her. Yeah, everybody loves everybody else. But if she's not meant to be here, the soul has to go home. So
Yeah, it's time for it to go.
But he didn't want to hear that. Now, I knew
Right.
the exact reason why she passed away. She had some trauma to her heart. And I told his buddy that later on. I said, yeah. He said, I said, well, she had some trauma to her heart. Something happened to her. And he said, yeah, she got into a car accident. I said, yeah, she was fucking 3. Not everybody survives a car
Yeah.
accident. So her body is 3 and very young and fragile. And the shock of it tore her an aorta in her heart. And that's why she passed. That's why the body passed away. But really, the reason why the kid was in the car is because that car had to have a crash so that child could die, so that soul could move on.
Right.
That's why. And he didn't want to hear that. So they always come to me with asking those types of questions.
Yeah, I get those too.
But they don't want the real true answers of, like I tell them, there's 2 rules in this world. Rule number 1, people die every day. Rule number 2, you can't change rule number 1. When it's your time to go, it just is. So just let it go.
Right.
But everybody has to go, We all have to. No one lives to be 150 years old. I mean, at that point, it's going to hurt to pee. So who wants to be here for that, right? So, but yeah, you have.
You're right.
It's time for the soul. And why is the soul leaving? Why did she have to die? Well, because if the soul gets called home to heaven, it's going to go home. What do you mean by that? I say, when you were a kid and you were out playing and your mom is yelling at you, Jonathan, come home. Jonathan, Jacob, Jickelheimer Schmidt, whatever his name is. Yeah, come home. What did you do? You got your ass up and went home.
Yeah, went home.
Well, you know what? If God's calling you to come home,
It's time to come home.
guess what you're doing?
Have you ever run into the person that comes to see you and they're like, I really want my dad to come. So then, their dad shows up. They
Sometimes.
put in the calling card and dad shows up. But they have the code word or there's a certain thing that they want. And they don't hear anything else that you say because you didn't share the code word.
Right.
And so I've had a few people that are like, well, you didn't share the code word, so I don't even know if it's my dad. And I'm like, so all that information that I shared with you that you said yes to wasn't your dad.
Right.
And they're like, well, you didn't share the code word. If it was real, the code word will really come through. And I said, do you think that maybe your dad didn't share the code word because it's ridiculous and had more important things to share with you?
Right. And they go, I don't know.
Right. And so that's the one that always gets me
Yeah,
is
it's always, can you tell me something about my dad so I know it's actually my dad talking to me? And
Yeah.
I said, something about your dad is not important. If he has a message for you, do you want him to tell you a big giant 10-minute story or do you want him to get to the point? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just want the message, You don't, I always tell people, what do you want me to be? Do you want me to be the doctor who tells you a bunch of jargon, or do you want me the doctor who tells you the truth? Oh, then tell me the truth. I say, but can you handle the truth? Because what I want to tell you, the things I have to tell you, don't ask questions that you don't want the real answers to.
Right.
Because I will get the answer for you. You might not like it. And if you don't like it, don't be mad at me. You just have to either face it or not. And
Yeah,
then you go, oh, well, I need to think about that. Then good. Then think about that. I want you to think about that because I don't want you to feel like this is a bad thing to do for you. You're trying to get information and you're going to get the truth about that information, but you have to be able to handle the truth.
Yeah. And
not everybody can.
And it is really a lot of times when you give them the truth, it's how they have to learn to have a wider perspective or a different perspective
Yes.
than what they're coming in with.
They're
Because
coming in with a narrow set of,
yes,
I want this and only this. And if you can't produce that, it's not the real.
yes, exactly. And that's not how spirit works. Spirit's going to come in with the highest and best thing for you. And really what the genuine truth is about the world in general.
Yes.
It's not, it's not like what your view of it is. It's what the right view of it is.
Right.
And I've had a lot of people, like a lot of people that I've read for have struggled with that. But then, sometimes later they come back and they go, I really thought about what you said, and you're so right. And I always say, well, it's not me that's right. It's Spirit that was giving you that message. So, Spirit was right in letting me share that with you.
I find that as well, as even though I gave them the answer from Spirit, they still come back to me and go, you were so right about that. I said, I keep telling them, I'm not right about it. I'm just giving you the information they're giving you. It's for you, It's, you asked me to talk to your mom, but I always tell people too, because you can call out to Spirit, but not all Spirit want to talk to you or are able to talk to you.
Yeah.
So they're going to send your uncle in, and he's going to give you a message. But I didn't have a good relationship with my uncle. I said, but your uncle let that go, and you need to learn to let go. And then they keep hard. Well, I don't want an answer from him. Let that go.
Yeah.
It's about love. It's about forgiveness, and it's about giving you something that's going to help you, no matter who it comes from. If you get good advice from somebody, don't you appreciate that? Does it have to be from one particular person? No, it doesn't. You're just getting the good advice, so just follow through with that. But yeah, sometimes they just, I feel as though, like, I have a friend who I met he came on my show because he had a book, and through that we just became friends, and he's an intuitive coach, and he by the last time I talked to him, not last time, but a couple times ago, he's like, you're the same thing, Daniel. I said, same thing as what? He goes, you're also an intuitive coach. You coach people through the reading. You coach them through their lives with the information that you're getting, but you're coaching them as well. He said, you really should put that on your resume, because that's what you are. And I was like, you know what, Sam? I never thought of that. I guess I am, but...
Yeah, a coach, counselor.
So I said, hey, honey, we need to put this on I'm an intuitive coach too. Awesome. That's another thing. But if that helps, but yet we come into this, they come to us for a certain reason, but we are many things more than just the one reason they came to us.
Exactly. That's so true. Yeah.
We don't say that, but we put it in the whole reading, and so they understand it. We are interpreters because we're interpreting the message we're getting. Sometimes it's clear, sometimes not completely clear, so we interpret it. And the only way we learn to interpret that is by doing a whole bunch of readings, and then we figure out how to interpret what they're actually saying to us all the time. And then we are coaching in to let them know, hey, you need to do it this way, and try to stay away from this, and do that. And if you follow through with that, more good things are going to happen to you. And we're coaching them, then we're being the psychological part and say, you're not alone in this world. You have a lot of people around you. Maybe you can't see them because I see them, but you can't see them, but they are there for you, and you do pick up on the signs that they are around you. You feel like your dad's around you. Well, what's that mean? Your dad's around you.
Your dad's around you, yeah.
And if he's around you, and if you feel like something good's happening, and you feel like your dad's around you when that's good happening, then your dad's
there. Yeah, I get that question a lot too. Sometimes I feel like my husband or like my father or my mother is around me. Is she really around me when I feel that way? Well, yeah, because she's wanting you to know.
McFly.
Yeah, like she's wanting you to know. They're wanting you. They're wanting you to know that they're near you and that you're not alone. And they just don't have the physical body anymore. But it doesn't mean that they left.
Yeah. So
in that way.
Or I get the thing where, I saw a robin today, and I saw another robin today. Is that this particular spirit? No, you just saw a robin. Not every time. Not every time a bird could. How do you know that? Because if you look outside, there's a gazillion birds.
There's about 10 robins outside.
Right. But if you're out there and all of a sudden a butterfly comes up out of, like, it's freezing cold outside, and a butterfly comes up, and then another butterfly comes up, that would be something different. But something so really common.
Yeah.
You need to look for this is something that's unique out of everything else. As I tell them, when you're looking for those synchronicities, when you're the sign between you and your dad was baseball, and then all of a sudden you see something on TV that says baseball, and then all of a sudden the next song you listen to is "Put Me in, Coach" from I'm ready to play baseball, and then you pick up something and it says baseball right there. That's a sign, But every bird that flies by, there's a gazillion birds. Which one's for you?
Right. So I have to share a story about signs. When I first really started to dive head and first into this going, okay, I'm going to accept this. This is who I am. This is pretty cool. One of my friends, we would go back and forth. I'd be like, well, is this really happening? You know, I was still in that stage of going, this is really cool. Is this really real? Is this really cool? She had asked me one time, she's like, I'll just ask Spirit for a sign. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So, of course, I was going to be the tricky person and be like, what kind of sign am I going to ask for that I would never even think of? But interestingly enough, like my grandmother came into my awareness, and I was like, oh, my grandmother loved ladybugs. How often do you really see ladybugs in Arizona when it's like 110, right?
Yeah.
Never, hardly ever. If you do,
They are like everybody else outside going, man, it's fucking hot out here.
Yeah,
I don't feel like flying.
So it was interesting because I remember I went outside at night, and there was 2 or 3 ladybugs just walking on my patio. And I thought, no, this is not real. Like, this cannot be happening.
You want to believe yourself.
Right. And then the next day I go out there and there's like another ladybug. And I'm like, well, I think I'm kind of getting on board with this. No joke. I came out, like, I go to the sliding door to let my dogs out. My whole sliding door was full of ladybugs. And I was like, okay, Spirit, you completely slapped me in the face. I got it. I get it. But it was the most amazing thing ever.
It took something really that amazing to actually get you to believe it.
Right? Because, I mean, I do have that logical side where I'm going to think things through and go, is this right or is this wrong? Well, I guess that's kind of going away now because I see things completely different.
Right. You don't have to ask so much for yourself.
Yeah.
Now everything you get, you just trust it automatically.
But that was like the most amazing thing that I had ever seen. And that's when I really realized how real signs are.
Yes.
And that I really need to start paying attention. Maybe I don't need like a whole slider full of ladybugs, but I just really need to start paying attention.
Yes. I've done the same thing where because what they're doing is they're trying to show proof that you can trust us, but they're also showing you patience as well. And everything.
Yep.
I did that one time, and I said, man, I wish I could just see something that would, prove to me that this kind of stuff is real and stuff like that. And I was going to we had a dog that was her mom's dog that we took over because her mom was not doing well. I went outside to walk the dog. And I was looking around, and I just looked up at the sky, and when I did, I was like, what the heck? I saw these 2 clouds just kind of come in and surround the moon, and when they did, they looked like angel wings. I have a picture of it on my phone.
Wow. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I was like...
Did you hear the music behind it, too, where it was all, oh.
I wish. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wish. I was like... I got to take a picture of this. And I took 2 pictures of it. And I was like, I went in the house. I was like, honey, you got to see this. Holy shit. What's that look like to you? She's like, oh, it looks like angel wings.
That's so cool.
I said, I just asked, could you show me something to know that I know? I did it once before outside. I said, I was like, can you just show me something? And I mean, I was looking up in the sky. And when I did, I immediately just saw a cloud out of nowhere just move right in front of me, went, and stopped. And I was like, is that my sign? And I guess that's a yes. I said, okay, I'm done with it. And all the other clouds sat still, and the other one just went and dissipated. And I was like, did you just do that? And I got touched. Yeah. And I went,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're good. Yeah, it took me a long time. It took me about a year and a half to actually trust where the information was coming from.
Yeah.
And then at the very beginning, I was only getting yes and no answers in the very beginning. But why was I only getting yes and no answers? Because I was only allowing myself yes and no answers.
Right.
I wasn't allowing all the other things to do because I was still learning how to do it. And then once I started allowing them to come in, they're actually touching me right now saying yes, that I allowed that to happen, then things just became much easier. For me. And I got to a point where I don't question anything now. If they give me an answer, that's what it is.
That's what the answer is.
And I've had people tell me, have you ever, oh, that's pretty arrogant of you to say.
I haven't run into that. I'm sure people have thought that and just haven't voiced it, but yeah.
Yeah. And I say, well, it's not arrogant. I just know I'm right.
Right.
Sorry, but well, how do you know you're right? I said, because I talk to angels every day.
Yeah.
I just do. And they're giving me an answer for you. Here's the answer. I don't like it. Okay, that's you. But that's up to
You don't have to like it.
Yeah, you don't have to like it. But
It's just
that's
the
up to
answer.
you. But it's still the answer. I mean, but yeah, and then sometimes they come back later on and go, you were right. I said,
Yeah.
I know I was right.
I know.
But I tell them, but that's a lesson you needed to learn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about learning the lessons and stuff like that. But yeah, they come to us for reassurance. They come to us for answers. But still, even when I tell them, look, when you're coming to me, before you come to me, I want you to write down a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I asked the same thing.
Yeah, and then when you get there, that way you're not feeling like you're on the spot to ask me a question, or you can't figure out what you wanted to ask. And then, if you have some other questions after that, then we'll talk about it another time. Don't worry about it. But I'll get you the answers for what you need. Oh, well, isn't that going to change things if you know the answers? I said,
no.
Did you not understand the question? What I told you? I don't want you to show me the questions. I just want you to bring them and then read them from a paper.
Yeah, and ask what you need to ask.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I get that now. Okay. And and then that way, and again, bring a phone so you can record this and all that stuff too. Because, like we just said, we don't always remember everything.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's not because it's not for me to remember.
Exactly.
I'm just here to give you the information and tell you how to interpret that, and then I have to hope that you're going to go on your way and actually do something with
Right.
it. And if you don't, I'm not worried about it. I can't be worried about it, but someone always have asked me that recently. Are you worried about what they did or did not do?
No. That's not my life.
No, it's not my job.
Yeah.
When you go to a job and you're a fireman, do you worry about what the policeman's doing? No, you're putting out a fire.
Your job. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to catch the guy who set the fire. That's not your job to do. You do your job.
Have you had those people that come up to you, like you tell them, bring those questions that you want answered? I always tell them that because I don't ever want them walking away not feeling like they got what they needed.
I ask them, everyone has a burning question.
What is yours?
Make sure you ask the question, and I always tell them, I worked in prison for 6 years. I've seen everything. Nothing embarrasses me.
I tell them the same thing.
Say what you want to say. How crazy ever you think it is. I don't care if your husband. You don't want your husband to know. I'm not going to tell him.
Yeah.
Just ask me the question.
Oh my gosh, I say the same thing. I'm like, I worked in probation for years, and and now I even work in crisis. So there's things that I hear and see, and I'm like, I promise you, anything that you ask me is not something I've either heard or seen.
Right. I've seen it all.
Yeah. Just bring it. But here's what my favorite thing is when they show up, they don't have any questions, and they're like, well, just tell me what you get. And I'm like, I don't know about you, but as soon as that happens, I get flooded with so much information, and I'm thinking, well, I can, what do you want to know? I'm getting so much information, I don't even know where to start. Because that's like opening the floodgates.
Yes, I tell them ahead of time, like when I do my live reading show, you can come in and ask a question. The way you have to do that is like and share the video, and then you can ask me a question. But please do not walk into my room and say, what do you have for me?
Yeah, what are you getting?
I have a lot for you, but unless you ask me a specific question, I may tell you something, and that's not what you wanted to hear.
Exactly.
So ask me the question for what you want to hear, and then I will get you the answer.
Yes. I hate that loaded thing. Well, what did you get? And I'm like, it's almost so overwhelming. I really don't even know where to start. And then I've had those readings where I'm like, okay, well, here, I'm just going to start giving you information. And then they're like, well, you didn't answer my question. And I'm like, well, what was your question?
Yeah, well, you didn't tell me what the question was.
Because you're telling me, well, what do you get? And I'm going to just start giving you stuff.
Yeah, I'm a medium, not a mind reader.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I struggle with that. Luckily,
I do too.
Luckily, the truth be told is a lot of times when they come in and they say that Spirit's going to tell you here, this is what's most important. And they may not even realize that that's what's important. But as you're talking to them, they're like,
right.
Oh my gosh, I really needed to hear that. But
oh yeah, I love when they say that. Like my last live reading show, there's one lady come in and she said, yeah, I've been struggling with some stuff. And I said, maybe you can give me something. I said, well, the reason why you're struggling with stuff is because you're not following in the path you're supposed to be doing. You are following it in an egotistical type of way because you think everything is about me. And it's not about you. It's about helping other people. So once you actually get off of that path, and then you can, and at the end of it, she was like, oh my God, you were so right on that. I just needed to hear that. And I said, that's great. Are you going to do with it? She goes, yeah, because I just got told the same thing yesterday.
Yeah.
I said, why didn't you listen to that person?
Yeah.
Well, because you're you, and they're actually just a regular person, but this is you. And I said, well, if you're getting it from somebody else, that's still a sign for you to follow through with
right.
it, you know? I mean, you still have to take into consideration, maybe they're just trying to give you some bullshit advice, but if you feel that they're giving you advice and it's resonating, you
then
don't need to come to me.
Yeah, then it's what you need to hear.
Yeah,
because Spirit's going to talk through
everybody.
I try to tell them that. I'm like, when stuff like that happens, I'm like, Spirit's talking through them. Like, Spirit's going to use whatever means they have to give you what it is that you're needing, but you just need to pay attention to it.
And why are they talking through someone else? Because someone else is a soul too.
Right?
They're just using another soul to do it, even though the other person may be aware of it or may not be aware. Maybe they're aware of it because they see what you're going through and they feel within themselves, which is their soul, is I need to go talk to that person.
Right?
You don't, because you don't always need to go to, like I tell people all the time, when people have depression or these suicidal thoughts and all this stuff, you know, you have depression because you choose to hold on to the depressive feelings. Mm-hmm. You can go to a doctor, but they're going to do one of two things. They're going to give you some medicine to suppress it, or they're going to talk you through it. You know what you could do? Talk yourself through it.
Yeah.
And you could just decide to let it go.
Well, it's that idea that I need somebody else or I need something else to get to.
Because they've been conditioned to feel that way.
They don't realize that all your information you ever need is from within.
Yes. You
like
can find all the answers within you, but you have to take the time to find. People don't want to. I find it
quick fix.
Yeah, they want a quick fix. They don't want to look inside themselves. They want to be able to get that quick fix so that I can go on vacation next week and stop feeling so horrible about my boyfriend who's cheating on me. But but you could stop feeling about that and just if you feel he's cheating on you, break up with him and go find another one while you're on vacation.
Right.
Yeah, but they don't want that. They want the quick fix.
They
want to try to figure it out real quick. But
and I always tell them, I'm like, everything that I tell you, I'm like, you already have it inside you.
Yes.
You just have to quiet your mind and listen to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like quieting your mind with meditation. I always tell them that the key to everything is meditation. But in order to meditate, in order to get clear messages, you have to have a clear mind.
Yeah.
But once you clear your mind out of everything else, you're going to find out that all the other things that you were thinking about all the time, they're horrible. If you do it all the time, you'll clear that stuff away from your life as well. And then you'll be clearing your life, and you didn't even need my help. You could do it yourself.
Right.
But people, again, like you said, they want a quick fix.
Yeah. Or, it goes back to the conditioning, right? I can't do it myself. Someone else has to do it for me.
Right. Or like the famous... there's a gazillion diets out there, and this one's going to work, and this one's going to work, and this one's going to work. Yeah. I tell everybody, there's one diet: eat less, move more.
Right, eat less, exercise.
Yeah, and just do that, and that is not really a quick fix either. You have to condition yourself to eat less and move more.
Right, it takes time.
You could also it takes time to become one with yourself.
It really does.
When you do the meditation, you'll find out so much more stuff about yourself that you didn't know before because you never took the time to do it, and your mind wasn't clear enough to get an actual message about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they just, again, I know people have hard, do you find it hard, or do you still meditate a lot? So
I'm being honest. If I do like the quiet meditation, not sitting with my legs crossed, my hands on my legs, on my knees. No, but like if I do that type of meditation, I do struggle with that. What works for me, like I said earlier, an active meditation. If I go out and I walk and I am among nature, it's really meditative for me. Right. And I get so much information.
Right. I get that same thing. Yeah. I call it being in the zone when I'm riding my motorcycle.
Yeah.
Nothing else is bothering me, and I'm just like...
Yeah. And I do believe that the other style of meditation works. I mean, I try to do that in the mornings to like calm myself. And, now I'm psychic spying on people. I'm popping up in their cars while they're rocking out. But in all honesty, like I do feel like that also works to just slow down the heart rate.
Yes.
It helps relieve the stress. I do believe that even physically it's really good for your body, but I can't do it for very long. It does not last very long, and I have to get up and, I have to do like that active type of meditation.
Yes. I find myself, even though I'm telling people to meditate all the time, I don't meditate as much as I used to because I was meditating to learn how to do what I do. But now that I've learned that I can do what I do and I'm in communication with spirit all the time, I don't have to meditate all the time, because if I want an answer, I just ask.
You just ask. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the same way with me, is that, so I kind of want to go back. Like I do have moments where I'm sitting in the power, is what I call it, to just get my energy up and like really work on like expanding my energy. I always think that I do believe that I can make that better and stronger.
Right.
And so I'll do that. But still, even that's an act of meditation, because I'm saying,
Sure.
Spirit, show me, guide me, teach me.
Yes.
And I completely forgot what the other point was that I was going to talk about. But
Awesome.
yeah, that happens.
Yeah, it does.
But
I'm not saying you're old, but
I mean,
few
I
fits.
kind of feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But
You are.
I think so. I'm not a young buck anymore.
No, but you look great for your age. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah, my wife is older than me, and she looks 10 years younger than me.
Is that true?
She's 5 years older than me.
I'm 60.
Yeah.
No way. I thought you were sorry that I'm pulling her in here. You get to participate too. I thought you were I thought she was way younger than you by at least 10 years. Sorry.
Over here.
I see that. I knew that's well deserved.
Yeah. No, man, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like, you look amazing. Just so you know. Not that you shouldn't look amazing at 60. I'm sorry, I shared your age on.
No,
okay.
No, we talk about it all the time. Yeah, because I look like, somebody tied a rope around my neck and dragged me behind a truck. So yeah, I get it. And yeah, I've had a lot of things happen to me. I've had some surgeries where I had a pallet of frozen chicken fall on top of me, and
Oh my gosh.
so I have 4 screws fused in my lower back, and just diabetic issues and stuff like that. But yeah, I look old as shit. I know it. I mean, even when we got those those pictures I showed you, we got these professional pictures, and we had them taken. When I got the results of the pictures, I looked at them. I was like, "Who's this guy? Is that me? Is that me?" I showed her. I was like, "It looks like me, but it looks like a really freaking handsome version of me."
Some great photoshopping, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. The lady said, "Oh, it's all about the lighting." And I was like, I don't know what lighting you're in, but I think I'm in the dark, because holy shit. I mean, and I thought to myself, what I need to do is I just need to show this picture to my wife all the time if I want to get lucky, because that's the only way it's going to happen, because this guy's a handsome son of a bitch. And
You're like, can I have that lighting in every room in my house, please?
yeah, like I want that theme music that when I walk into the room, it just goes, oh,
Right?
I want the picture too, but yeah, absolutely, yeah. She's 5 years older than me, but I look older than her, but I'm okay with it. This is who I am. This is what I'm supposed to be.
Right.
I get it. We all are who we are supposed to be. And if we judged everybody on what we look like all the time, we would never really get in this world. Because we are looking for their compassion. We are looking for what's really inside of them. And sometimes we look at the smaller things that we think are the bigger things when they're not. Like I said, when I was on the dating sites, yeah, you could be fantastic looking, but I seem to find out that the crazy doesn't, or good looks doesn't hide crazy, because I dated every crazy chick in the state of Delaware, but I had to have a conversation with them first to find out. You could write me a bunch of letters, but if I pick up on something that you say, and that's going to be, I could find the real red flags pretty quickly. I didn't know that it was me being intuitive, picking up on that at that time, but I found out within 15 minutes. I could find out if we were going on a date or you're a crazy ass son of a bitch. So I had to go through that stuff. But that's what we have to do in this world. We have, because they put us here. The president said it, about 2020, but it was way before that. We are all in this together.
Yes.
We've always been in this together. We need to figure out how we can work together instead of always trying to be at opposite ends.
Yeah, so separated all the time.
We're always, and that's what the powers that be want us to be separated, even though they say they want us to be together. They are always trying to put things out there to separate us, because that's what makes the world go around and creates money and all the power and bullshit stuff. But yeah, we need to learn to work together in this world. Yeah, we have differences. Yeah, there's you look at the world differently than I look. Like my mom would say, "Why can't you be like your brother?" Because I don't look at the world the same way my brother
Exactly,
does.
yeah.
We are different a little bit, but we do have some commonalities that we can all figure things out and maybe make things work, because we're not always going to agree on everything, but we can come to some type of agreement between the two of us that's going to work for the two of us. And that's what I try to do with when I'm doing a reading with someone. Hey, you know what? Yeah, your dad was a piece of crap. And then, so since you know your dad was a piece of crap, you continuing to harp on that is always going to remind you of it. If you learn to let it go and accept your dad for being a piece of crap, then you know, if I have to be around for 20 minutes, then I just have to be around for 20 minutes. And okay. And then I can go home and not think about it ever again.
Right.
But as long as you're feeling that and holding on to it, it's never going to go away. But the only reason it's never going to go away is because you have chosen to not let it go.
To not let it go. It's everything's a choice.
Everything, and that's what I'm getting at. Everything
is a choice.
Yes. And
you can choose to be miserable, or you can choose to be happy and find the positive things. You can choose to always look at the negative and be like, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? Or say, okay, this happened to me. What am I supposed to learn to become a better person?
Right.
And yeah, I've had those conversations as well. And again, it's coaching, guiding, like counseling, right? And trying to get them to get back onto the right path instead of this victimization type of path, or, you know, and I'm not saying that everyone is like that, because they're not, but I really want to help people to see that there is a lot of love and joy in this world, and we're all capable of it.
We are.
Even the dad that was a piece of shit. The truth of the matter is he tried to, and but also he tried to love you the best that he could with what he had.
Right. The only way he felt he could, he did what he could do. And it is also his choice. At any moment, he could actually stop being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But again, he has to choose that for himself. But even though you want that to happen so bad, until he wants it to happen, it's not going to change.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
So just accept the situation until he decides to change it. That's all. And try to make it better. But if it's not going to get any better, just say, you know what? If it's not going to get better with them, I need to just stop spending so much time with them.
So much energy towards it.
So much energy trying to make it better. It's not going to change. But I can be okay without that stuff. And then if he decides to come in and I let him in and he wants to be something better, I'll give it a shot or two. But if after 2 or 3 shots, 2 or 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then you did your best. But if it does work out, great.
Yeah, and you can choose to not be a part of that. I always tell people, one of the things that we have problems with that causes a lot of anxiety, even depression, that makes us crazy, is we're always trying to control things that we can't control.
Right.
Like, I always tell people, ask your, like, even when we're having things and they're like kind of going on about, well, this, and this, and I say, well, can you control that? And they're like, well, no, not really. And I'm like, then why are you putting energy towards it? Because what you're going to do is you're going to keep running into that wall. Yeah. Like you control what you can control within your own life, but anything else that you can't, you've got to let that go.
Yeah, I have a lady now. She's so worried about her daughter who is 26, and I said, but your daughter has to live her life. Did you want your mom and dad running your life? No. Well, she doesn't want you. You just forgotten that you used to be young. So put yourself in her shoes and then let her do what she needs to do. And when she's ready to come and talk to you, she will. Until she's not ready. If she's not ready, she won't. But don't push the issue, because you're only going to make it worse for yourself.
Yeah, you're just going to create more separation and distance.
You're going to do what your mom was trying to do to you. And you're, well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but you have to look at unfortunately, people just get into a certain, they get into tunnel vision, and they can't get out of it. Yeah. And they have to be reminded, and sometimes that's what we have to do. While even though we're giving other information for them, we have to remind them, you're here to learn your lessons. Yeah. They have to learn their lessons. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, you have yours, they have theirs, and your lessons do not have to align.
Right, because in all actuality, the hokey pokey is what it's all about.
Exactly.
But people just don't get that. That's all.
So I struggle with that a lot with my son, right? Because he's young and I want to control him and I want to be like, you have to do this and you have to do that. But why, Mom? And the famous, because I said so. So that's one of the things I'm going to say that in the last 3 years that I've really been learning is to let go. Yeah. I mean, I may not control the fact that I really want you to take a shower because you smell, but I'm going to let you learn your lessons when you go meet a really pretty girl. And she's like, what's that smell?
Yeah,
that's just
you don't want to be the stinky kid at school.
right. But I really have learned to, to let what my, like how his life is supposed to be, my idealism of it, and be able to say, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. So one of the things, of course, I'm struggling with is because I'm going to have to let him go soon to go to college.
Yeah, because you know what he's going to find there? A bunch of pretty girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And alcohol.
Right. But the thing is that, he's been with me. I've been a single mom since he was born. So it's been the two of us, and the idea of letting him go. So, so we're talking about colleges, and I'm like, I really want him to just go to U of A or, and he can still live with me, and we can keep going forward as we're going. And I'm going to openly admit that his aunt and uncle took him to go see a university in California, and he really liked it. But I had to step over my ego, because I started sitting there going, well, they just want him there. They just want him there, and they're going to take him away from me. And, I was going through all of that in my head. And then of course I'm like plotting, like, well, how can I keep him here? But it was interesting because when I talked to him, it was like Spirit was tapping me on the shoulder saying he has to live his own life. Like, if that's where he chooses to go, you will learn how to handle it. Yes. And I could tell, like, when he was telling me about it, that he was a bit hesitant to tell me that he really liked it. And so I let him share, and I just told him, I was like, Cole, if that's where you want to go, I will support you. I said, I will support you in any state, country. I will support that. And it was like Spirit tapping me on the shoulder, reminding me that, number one, I don't have control over that, so I need to let that go. And number two, we all have our own individual lives, and I have to let him live his.
Yes.
And be that support. We
had that conversation, especially with my stepson, and I had that conversation with her one time because I said to her, he's 21. He has a job. Why are you still paying his phone bill? Well, because he's going to college. No, but he has a job. He has to learn how to pay his own bills. He has to learn how to pay his own way and figure that out. And he eventually did. And now he's doing great. He's buying his own home now.
That's awesome.
He left Delaware and moved out to Colorado on his own because he thought his friends were going to go with him. None of them went. And then he found his way, but he did have to be forced to, because we finally came to an agreement, and we said, you know what, okay, he does have to go out and learn all this stuff on his own. So we kind of pushed him, okay, you got to go out and find an apartment. You're out of college now. It's time to get out there and stuff like that. Because before that, I mean, he was doing his college work and stuff like that, but he was up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning playing video games as well and causing a bunch of issues because I have to be up at 6 o'clock and I can't have somebody waking me up at 3 o'clock.
Right.
So we got that worked out and stuff like that, but that was a hard road for him to work out and for us to work out at the same time. So, but now the fruits of the hard work, labor together, working together to help him to do that have now paid off.
Yeah.
But in order for that to happen, you have to figure it out.
Right.
Right, because the longer that you hold on to something, the bird is just going to continue to drop out of the nest instead of fly out of the nest.
Right.
So it's about letting go just for the greater good of it, even though, because your son, even though they showed him a different place, he's been with you for his whole entire life. Mm-hmm. He knows that, if he ever really needs something, he could just ask you.
Yeah, he can always come home.
Yeah, he can always come home. Home will always be home until he starts bringing a bunch of slutty girls home.
Then I can have control over that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, because when those bitches start looking better than I do, then I got a problem. So, yeah, but you have to, but they have to learn their own lessons. As in anyone in this world has to learn their own lessons. We are here to give them information. We are here to guide them. But we can't give them so much information that we are predetermining their whole entire
Yes.
life. And they're not actually getting the experience of living it because they don't have to, because they have every answer for every step of the way. We're not here to do that.
Yeah.
As well as Spirit is not here to do that. They want you to live your life. They want you to learn your lessons. They want you to fulfill your purpose. But they want you to do it. And
That's right.
That's where the blockage comes from people, that they want everything, because we as people here, I'm sure you remember this. It was called dial-up. We all.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, yes.
And it took forever to get online.
So
but we had to have patience and wait for it, and sometimes it would turn off. But now we've conditioned the kids into thinking, most of them don't know what dial-up is. They don't even know what a dial phone is, But because they're used to everything happening right now.
Instant gratification.
And they not only do they want it right now, but they believe they are entitled to have it right now.
Yes.
And that's just not the case. We have to sometimes give people, everybody, a kick in the ass to go, okay, now you got to go out and do it.
Yeah.
But if you follow the path, it'll work for you. As long as you continue to follow the path. But if you don't, and you go off the path because somebody else or the world's telling you you're not good enough, then again, you're going to have to, eventually try to make it back on.
Yeah, find your way back onto
You
it.
have to find your way back on. And it's not always easy for everyone to do in this world. But they do have to do that. And again, if you don't, coming back again, Charlie. You don't want to have to come back over. Yeah, the people that I used to do that show with, the Dead End Stories, he'd been here 33 times. His wife's been here 34 times. What does that mean? What's that mean to me, Daniel? I said, that means to me that you're fucking it up. I mean, you've been fucking it up every single time you've been here, and you're still not getting it right.
You're up for 33 times.
How about get it right this
Yeah.
time? How about stop looking at things that one way and start looking at them and the real way they are, being aware of what they really and truly are. But until you make a decision that you actually want to do that, no matter what I say or tell you,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really does come down to their decision. You can tell them everything. You can tell them exactly how to map up their life, but if they don't make the decision to do it, not saying that that's what my readings are, doing a life map of you got to do this, this, and this, but it really comes down to decisions, right? And
right. If you do this, then this will happen. But until you do that, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
because you're not following it.
Yeah.
You're not really getting the answer. And sometimes they do have to come back for another reading or another reading after that because they just want a little bit more clarity of what's happening here and what's happening there. They are still following the path, but they
just need a little bit more guidance.
Yeah, I get repeaters who, like the woman I was doing with yesterday, Deborah. She just comes back because she wants a little bit of clarity here for this, what's going on now. And she really doesn't ask for like a lot of other real answers. A lot of them just come back to me because, again, I'm not over there anymore. And they just want to talk to me and stuff like that. But they do just want some clarity on little things. And then at the end, I said, do you have any more questions? Well, no, we've been kind of talking about things here and there and stuff like that. I said, yeah, but everything I'm telling you about here and there is all a part of everything. And you do understand that. Yes, I know you had to tell me this story so it would correlate to my story of trying to figure this out. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, it does become that reading I did yesterday lasted 4 hours.
Wow.
And so like as you and I have talked before, because Kelly and I have been talking for about a month or so, and now we're buddies. So, but we find out that, if I was in this for money, forget it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm in this to get information to people who need it, and I give it to them. And if it takes me 4 hours to get you all the information, that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. So I do struggle with that because, maybe you schedule for an hour, but then like more information comes up and I'm like, I need to give you this. I've had people who've come for readings and I'm like, oh, I need to give you this information. They're like, well, it's been an hour. I have to go. And I'm like, oh, okay. And but I usually find that I'm the one who's keeping them longer than them really wanting to linger. I have a few that do, and that's fine because that's what they're needing. Yeah. And I don't mind. But to go back to those people who come back for little pieces of clarity, I really do love those readings.
Yes, me too.
Because
I love talking to her.
Because they're easy, right? And
you've already got the basics down.
Yeah, and you're not repeating yourself.
Yes.
And I love that. The other thing that I love is when they come back to tell you that they've put it in motion, and then
Right.
like these incredible things that have happened
Right.
to them, or that's one of the things that I really enjoy, and I kind of feel like I'm living vicariously through them.
Yeah, because they're when it's happening to them, then they go, man, I can't wait to get back to Kelly and tell her how this came through. This is going to be so good. And then when they tell you, you get excited about it too. And you're like, yeah.
My favorite thing is when I get those emails and they're like, oh my gosh, like this, and this happened. And I feel like I get just excited. Like I'm excited along with them because I just, that's part of what we do, right? Is seeing just people grow.
Yes. We're trying to help motivate them. Yeah. And help them grow throughout their lives, and doing our best to keep them from digressing too at the same moment.
Yeah.
Because every time something good does happen, it does keep them away from digressing back to something bad.
And because we are all together, we are all one in this world. When they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, it is that effect of it's going to affect someone else, and that's going to affect someone else and someone else. And that's the thing that I really like, is to know that like one good deed is just not one good deed.
Right.
It really does expand out. And I think that's the thing that I find so neat. And if I can encourage you to do that, and I'm doing that, and this person's doing that, and that person's doing that, can you imagine the effect that we're having on the entire world, right?
Right. We don't always see the effect, but then sometimes we do later on, and then somebody else mentions, oh yeah, I got that from my friend Spirit Medium Daniel, and they're like, and you hear about it, and you're like, holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, okay.
I got out. So like I've been doing podcasts, and I had this podcast contact me, and they said, yeah, we want to get you on our show. And I said, oh, how did you hear about me? Oh, well, we do a podcast, and we had one of our listeners heard our guest on there and knew that our guest was telling a bunch of bullshit, because we felt it was a bunch of bullshit. And our guest called in and said, we need to get you on the show because you're going to tell us the truth.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I was like, awesome. Where are you guys at? And they said, we're in the UK.
Nice.
And I said, I'm in Arizona. And it got to the UK. Something's happening here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I did a reading for a guy recently, and he heard about me on a podcast that was in another country way across the other side of the world.
That's so
and
cool.
I was like, oh my God, that's all. I'm glad to do this for you. And he's like, yeah, everything that you were talking about just hit home with me, and I just felt like I needed to contact you because you were going to help me.
That's so cool.
And I was like, awesome. As long as I'm feeling I'm helping you, great. And that's why I continue to do our podcast, but I continue to do other podcasts, because that kind of showed me that it is actually getting out there. We've only been at this for about a year, but if it's getting out there that kind of way, then I know we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you're doing important work.
Yeah, we're doing important work.
Yeah.
And I hope it's helping other people. Anybody out there listening to me, am I making $1 million off this?
No.
I have a book that we're going to be having for sale soon, and it's going to cost about $8 for the book, and we're going to make about $2 off that book. Do I want to sell 1 million books? Yes. Do I want to make $1 million? No. What do I want you to do? I want you to read the book because I just wanted it to help you.
Right.
That's what. Yeah. I don't care if I make $1 million or not. I just need to get the help out there. That's what I need to do so that it will help somebody, because that's what we're in the business to do. We're not,
right.
I always tell people, there's a lot of mediums out there that charge $400 or $500 an hour. They have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10.
Right.
You don't need 6 cars. You need a car. You need a house. You need some air conditioning, especially in this heat down here or whatever. And you need some food and stuff like that. There are things you need, but there are a bunch of things that you want. But there are things you need. But do you need a lot of thing that I get irritated with in this business is this one word: abundance, abundance, abundance. And when people say that word abundance, they're not thinking of, I need more food. They're thinking of the $1 million. I was
going to say the money.
Yeah, all they want is and that's all they think. And I always tell them it's not about abundance, it's about having enough.
Right. That I say the same thing. And I'm not going to lie, I do use the word abundance. And then I feel like I have to explain, and I'll tell them it's not about money. Abundance could be, relationships.
Yes.
It could be putting food on your table, that your electricity stayed on for the entire month. Right. I'm like, those are things that really, that's really what encompasses abundance. Yes, it would be nice to have that $1 million fall into your hand, But the question is that you'll be like, well, I'm going to go spend this. No, like you've got to have the right heart and the right intent.
Right.
And really realize that, having a roof over your head, that's abundance.
Right. It doesn't need to be a 50,000 square foot roof. It just needs
to be a roof, right?
Because when you have a 50,000 square foot, then you have to heat that 50, and eventually that $1 million is going to wear through because you didn't think things through in a good way, Or if you have the $1 million, maybe keep 500,000 for yourself, and then help some other people,
right?
Or something else with it that's going to help, because again, you're helping. But if you're just doing, me,
yeah,
and then you, it's coming back again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't come back again.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to come back again.
I don't either.
No.
And that probably sounds really horrible, but I'm like, when you die, don't come back.
Yeah.
Like, you should go do what you're supposed to do, but don't come back here.
I don't want to see your face. No.
Yeah, don't come bug me.
Yeah.
Well, come bug me in spirit.
Yeah, when
you can, but
yeah, I can talk to you when you. Like I was saying, my one cat passed away. I've seen him like 10 times since he's passed away, and I see him laying on me and stuff like that, and he still wants to be here and stuff like that. But if you come back that way, that's fine. You're not haunting me. You're just coming back because you
want snuggles.
Yeah, you want snuggles. You want to see me again, which is cool. Yeah, especially if I get a whole bunch of blonde spirit chicks with big boobs. You want to come and snuggle? That'll be awesome. Yeah, it'll be okay with. So
you're all right with that.
for a last words type of thing beyond the blondes with big boobs. I'm not nowhere into I like the brunettes. Sorry, but is there any last words that you would like to tell people out there that you think that they should know about you, or about what they need to know as far as how they should be doing what they're doing in their lives? So
I guess I'll answer that both ways. So, just for myself, I really do want people to understand that when I read for them or when they come to me, that I really do have their best well-being in mind. Because I always think if I went to somebody who was like me, which I've gone to other mediums to get readings. How do I want to be treated? What do I want to know? How do I want to walk away from their feeling?
Right. And
so I always try to keep that in the back of my head, my mind, maybe more the left side. I don't know. But, so because I want people to leave feeling not only feeling the start of that healing, but feeling good about who they are as people.
Right.
I don't ever want someone to leave thinking, oh, well, she just made me feel really bad, and I'm going to tell you the truth. One thing about me, that I think that if you were to ask any of the other people that I read for, is that I am very truthful. I am very candid, and I'm going to be honest with you.
Yep. I'm blunt.
Yes. Yeah. I am pretty direct.
Yeah.
But I want people to know that when they come to me, that they will get the truth.
Yeah.
And that I also don't think it's a reading is a one and done thing. So what I mean by that is, just because I gave you a reading, it doesn't mean that we can't, I don't want to be connected to you anymore, because I do want to know what's going on in your life. Yeah. I do want to know that you're okay. So I feel like it's really beyond more than just, I'm going to give you this reading for an hour, and then when you leave, that's it. And unless you book with me again. Because I really do care about them more than just, I'm using air quotes, like clients. They're not clients to me.
They're friends to me.
Yeah, they're souls, and I love them.
Yeah.
I really do.
Me too. I always tell them, in that same way, I can only tell the truth one way. I can't tell it 50 ways until one way suits you. But when I'm done, if you have a question later on, you don't have to book it with me. Just if you have one question you missed, just send it to me and I'll answer it for you.
Just ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Some people, they have, I'm not going to sit there and answer all 10 of your questions. But if you have a question about something that we talked about, just come back to me and ask me. And I'm totally okay with that, because maybe that was something that I missed in telling you. And then I guess finally, for people, I just want them to know that although I really appreciate that you come to me, just know and trust yourself and have faith in yourself, that everything that you ask me, you have inside of you, and feel empowered to go within and just embrace who you are. Because, I went through life, I know this may be a bit sidetracked, but I went through almost my entire life thinking that there was something wrong with me because I would hear something or, like just trust yourself, and which is really hard to do. And I understand that, but know that we came into this world equipped with everything that we need. Right. And so you just need to trust that.
You were given everything you need, no more, no less.
Exactly.
Yeah, but people need to learn to trust. Yeah, I try to tell them the same thing, and maybe they're just coming to me for just, was I actually feeling that? And if I get a yes, yes. So they just come for a little bit of clarity sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, we all do that. Like I said, I've gone to other mediums and other psychics just asking for clarity. But usually, what it is something that I already had a very strong feeling was correct. And I just wanted a little bit of guidance. But
right. And that's what we need to do for people.
And ultimately, I always, sounds really awful, but I always I go off the philosophy of working myself out of business, because I figured if I work myself out of business, then I've helped everybody get those tools to be able to, I really do feel it's all about empowerment, to empower their own lives.
Yes, we want everybody to learn to do this, and we want everybody to come together, although there is 9 billion people in this world. But that is the ultimate goal for us to all know that we can do this and that we can all work together.
Yes.
That is going to take some time. Am I going to be able to accomplish that in my lifetime? I would like to hope so, but I just don't know. But man, I'm going to do my best.
That's right. And even if I can't do it in this lifetime, at least I was able to give that to somebody else to continue on. And that's what I hope, that it just continues on and on and on.
Yes. Or if I can't do it, again, I know somebody who can do it, and then go to that person.
Right.
I want you to get your answer.
I want you to get what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that you need that $1 million house, but that need for that true soul fulfillment is the information that I want to give you. Like what's going to feed your soul? And that's really what I want to do.
Your soul is always hungry for something.
Yeah, always.
It's always looking for something that's going to make it feel as good as it wants to feel. So yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome.
Thank you.
This was a great interview. And again, our friend Kelly Boyer is here. She is an intuitive psychic and medium. Where can they find you? That's what I want, because we'll put this at the end of the show, like the links and all that stuff. But just tell my audience where they can find you so they can get a hold of you. So
I do have a website, and it's www.kelly, Kelly, Boyer, B as in boy, OYER.org. I'll be honest, I used to do the readings out of my house. It became a little bit difficult. This week I did sign a lease on like a small suite so that I can do readings even in where it would be more accessible to people. Oh, so you have like your own little office? Yeah. And I can't tell you, I'm telling you, Spirit really lined this up for me because I had been thinking about it. Touched by Michael, yes. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. Because, there's that part of me that goes, I don't know. Yeah. But, I did end up leasing a small suite because it's just a lot easier. I have dogs, I've got cats, I've got kids, and it was just becoming so difficult. Yeah. And I want people to come there and be really comfortable. Right. You want them to have some solace, and you want them to be able to have an uninterrupted. Yeah, not my dogs barking in the backyard, because I have one that's just like, But so I did splurge on it. I not splurge. I really felt led, and it all worked out in perfect timing. So I call it my little shop, because it's so cute. It's not your little shop of horror, that's for sure. No. I don't have any of that going on there. Yeah. But it's in Green Valley, and I chose Green Valley because I had a lot of people coming to me happy that I was in Sahuarita and closer instead of having to go to Tucson. And I noticed that a lot of people were coming from me, and that Green Valley was more central. Right. So it's in Green Valley. Did you want the address? Say it out loud, buddy. All right. It is, hopefully in July 1st, because I still got to get it all cozy and decorated. It will be open. It's got to look pretty, right? Yeah. It's got to look warm and inviting. It is 101 South La Cañada. I was going to say it not the Spanish way. 101 South La Cañada Drive, Suite 49B in Green Valley, Arizona.
So at that suite, will it have a big sign out front that says this?
So because people know me both ways as like healing through mediumship and then Kelly Boyer intuitive, I will have both those signs out there for them so that they can, they can come by.
Here's your sign for spirit, people.
Right. And I do prefer that people book online if they want to come see me for longer, but I will do walk-in readings.
Walk-in, sure.
Yeah, because there's just those people that just need to come in and they need a message.
Yeah. Are you just like a medium? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But no, I'm very excited about it, and
that's good. I'm excited for you. That's awesome.
I needed something that was separate from my personal space.
Sure.
And I think it'll make other people feel a little bit more comfortable.
Or you're just going there and telling your kid, I got to go do a reading today. Man, I'm so sick and tired of his shit. So,
that could be part of it too.
Yeah.
Because,
well, he's 16. He's getting to that point now where he doesn't really want to spend a whole bunch of time with his mom.
No, he doesn't at all. He stays a lot in his room, but he can get pretty loud. So I know, like, when I go up there and I'm like, I have a reading, you need to be quiet. And he's like, he does the kid eye roll thing.
Yeah.
But he is good, and he'll be quiet, but
he'll eventually learn that when he's trying to do something, and so he's got a roommate that's being really loud.
Right.
Oh man.
So
and then the roommate's going to go, yeah, whatever,
Yeah, and then I'll be like, well, now
get my own apartment, get my own suite. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for letting me share that, because I'm really excited about it.
No, it's being told it's going to be a good thing. So.
It is. Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, because I was getting touched at the same time.
Awesome. Okay, I'm so glad, because in all honesty, I've been thinking about it for quite some time. I just never felt, I knew it was just not right. And then it was just like one day I woke up and I'm like, oh, this is the time. And literally everything fell into place.
Right. I just, to let you know that don't worry about thinking that you're just going to be going to the office every day, because it's not going to be like that at all. You're going to see.
Oh, I'll be so happy, because it was one of my fears, because, one of the things with my day job that I have was going to the office. So I did enjoy working from home because it was different. But now, like, everything is in my home, and I do need something separate. And I feel like this is the thing that's important in my life that I really wanted to kind of separate from, because all the muck that goes on in the house.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
You want to be able to separate. I mean, luckily we have a separate room here that I can go in. Yeah. I mean, I do have the occasional motorcycle go by, because there's a lot of bikes around this area, but I don't really necessarily hear people through it. But yeah, even when I come and do a reading for someone, if it's not in-house, I actually come right into this room, because I don't hear much except for our little cat, Pippi Doodle, crying because she wants me to be out there. But other than that, no, it's nice and quiet, and I can just come in here and have that time on the Zoom call, whatever it is. So it makes it much easier.
And just be able to do things.
Because not only do you get distracted, but they get distracted because you're distracted at the same time. And they are looking to come to you and talk to you about some things that they want your complete and total attention. And
yes. And I really want to give it to them. And two, when you get distracted, it pulls you out of that energy, and then you kind of have to go back into that energy. Yeah. Sometimes I would have great readings, but then, the dog would bark, or the cat's got his paw like under the door and he's hitting like the little door thing.
Right.
So, I just want people to know that I do care about them, and when they come to me, that I want to dedicate my full attention to them.
Absolutely.
Because that's what's important in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, even though I love my wife walking around and talking to my wife and stuff like that, but I do need to, sometimes she'll be coming in and I'll be like, I'm doing something here. I got to have some. Yeah.
Or you're trying to give them the eye so it's not noticeable when you're on Zoom that you don't say anything right now.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Keep your mouth shut, bitch, because I don't want to hear it.
Right.
But that's great. So I'm glad that you're getting out good for you that you're getting out and being able to do that, because sometimes not everybody is able to do that. But apparently, what that tells me is you're busy enough that you can. So that's great.
Yeah, I do feel that it's gotten to that point.
Yeah, and now, but you're still feeling as though you have to put your feet out, your toes into the water. And
yeah, and I have to say the other thing that I really realized is that I embrace this. I embrace this gift. I embrace this lifestyle, but there still had been a part of me that was really hesitant about getting out there, if that makes sense.
Sure.
And now it's like I'm diving in head first. Like there's no going back. Like I have I have like my little place, and it's out there in the public, and and I even it's on Yelp, and so it's out there.
As long as you're not there playing a bunch of Britney Spears, that's one thing.
No.
Yeah, no. Sorry, hon. Yeah.
But
I get it. You want to, like when I first, I really had to equate this to, I was basically coming out.
It's like that's what it is. It's coming
out of the closet. You're accepting yourself and putting it out there, hoping that everyone else will accept you too. You're going to find out that a lot of people don't, and that's okay as well, because then you'll find out who your people are as well. But you have to be comfortable with it. But sometimes it's hard to do because you're making a big step for yourself, and sometimes it is a little bit scary because you do want this to work. You do want it to work.
Yeah,
and you want to be able to do this on your own. You've been doing everything else on your own, lady. Come on, wake up. So,
right? It's so true.
So and it's worked out, right? You're still here, right? Your son's still alive and 16.
Right, and it really is true. My entire life, I've done everything myself, and you're right. Like this shouldn't be any different. And
you just need to have faith in it. That's all, and you do, but it is a little bit because, now you're paying something extra for something else, and you're hoping you make enough money to keep that sustained so you can continue to, you could always go back and do it at home too.
I do. Yeah.
And especially you will in about 2 years when your son goes to college, and then
probably yes,
in California, away from you.
Let's not say that.
He can't wait to get the hell away from you, and so he doesn't have a mom telling him what to do all day long.
Right.
But this is something it's hard for you to do, but again, like we were just talking about, it's not going to happen unless you try.
Yeah, and I do feel like I also feel like I kind of need to practice what I preach.
Right.
Because you encourage everybody else. You got to take action. You got to do it.
Because that's what I tell people being a medium as well. In order to be that, everything you're professing for other people to do, you have to.
Yeah, you've got to do it.
You can't lie. You can't pretend and be something and be something and be living a shitty life while you're telling them to go live a wonderful life. You have to be in this and fully. And this is another way of you being in this completely. You put so much confidence in yourself that you're willing to go out and try to do something different to make it expand for you and to expand for them as well. Because you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for them too, so they can feel like they're in a comfortable space to do it.
Yeah, and that's really what I want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I could do it from home. I could do it all online if I want to.
Are you going to have one of those big giant neon signs that says psychic?
No, with the arrow, right? That points. No. I'm not going to go that far, but it will have my signs in there, like saying what I am and what I do, and yeah, I'm really excited. This is another chapter I'm starting to write.
Yeah, you're just writing another part of your book. Yeah. That's all. And I know the end of your book is going to be okay because that's when you're
Well, then I'll
checking out.
I'm like, then I'll be in spirit, and I'm going to say that I learned, so I don't return.
Well,
maybe. Yeah, I'm hoping.
No,
I'm trying to remain positive.
Oh, you don't have to worry about it. I already know you're not coming back.
Yes.
This is it, your last time.
Oh, I'm so glad. I hope so.
You're done. So I always tell people when I do let them know that what happens is, like, no one goes to heaven right away. You go to a holding place. They're just going to go over your life. The life review.
Yeah, the life review.
Yeah. But at that point, at the end of that life review, they would either tell you have to go back or you get to stay home. But what they will do at that point they're going to not tell you have to go back. They're going to ask you if you want to go back. And your answer is going to be?
I'm going to say no.
Right.
I don't want to, yeah.
That's what I want you to do.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to come back.
Well, for the truest reasons of things that because the world is not heading in a good place, and they don't want you to, and I don't want you to have to come back and try to survive. You won't be living. You'll be surviving through it.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
They don't want you to. They don't want any of us to do it either. They know it's coming, but they know it has to come.
Yeah.
But because it's all about learning. But yeah, this is it. You're done. So
I'm so happy. Well, I hope in the time that I do have left that I have the ability to touch a lot of people's lives.
You will. That's what you're here for.
Yeah, I really want to make it the best shot. If I'm not returning, I want it to be the best that I can ever make it be forever.
The best part about you not having to come back is really the rest of your. So we are here to help each other and stuff like that. And I know you're still going to do that because that's what you want to do. But because you don't have to come back, you don't really have to.
Perfect.
You don't have to do that if you don't want to. The rest of your life right now is actually yours to do whatever you want to do without having to fulfill a purpose because you've already been doing it so much that in the past couple of years that you're doing it. And they know you're going to continue to do it. But you've already you completed it so much in your other previous lives and then got here and already fulfilled it by the age you are now that the rest of your life is yours. You can do whatever you want. So you're going home and staying home. So while you're here, you can treat the rest of your life here one big vacation, but they know you won't because of who you are. That's why. I
would like to have one big vacation, but you're right. Man, Spirit knows if somebody needs help, I'm going to try to help them the best
You had a big vacation. It was sort of that. You drove to California, now you're back. So sorry, you're done. So
yeah, I did. Yeah, that was my vacation.
Vacation joke.
But
everything else in the rest of your life is up to you to do now. But they're still going to help you because you still want to go out and help other people. So yeah, it's going to be, everything else for you is now the cherry on the top of the cake. Now
that's awesome to know and hear.
You're all done. So yay!
Woo! I think I may go home and throw a one-person party since my son's at his dad's house.
We've been dying to use that.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Yeah, I know, right? There's little buttons on there. You can press something else just for the hell of it, honey.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
Isn't there a drum thing on there? I said a joke now. Hey, is it?
That's awesome.
Your life is yours now.
Well, thank you for sharing that information.
Yeah, and you're going to do great things anyway because you've already been doing them already. And that's why, like, we've had prior talks before. We type to each other all the time. Never really talked to each other until today.
Yeah.
But told her some things, and she's told me some things. But yeah, your life is all yours now. And
awesome.
You have a boatload of people around you who are, not people, them, who are protecting you all the time.
Awesome.
Like you and me, we could both walk into the scariest haunted house and nothing will happen to you ever because we are protected. Why? Because we are the ones who are actually helping people. We're not out there being a circus act.
Yeah.
Because,
I think, truth be told, I don't know any other way to be.
No, me
either. I think there's just, I wouldn't even know how to be that way.
No, because it's instilled in you because that's what your soul is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were able to cut out the bullshit and go, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's not right.
No. So awesome. It was great to have you on the show
Thank you
today.
so much for having me.
I'm sure this show, as long as it went on, is going to be like a 2-parter or maybe a 3-part show, which is great for us because that means we don't have to have an interview with someone else. But no, I got a bunch of interviews coming up.
That's awesome.
But yeah, this is going to be awesome, and I hope people listen to this. I hope if you do need my kind of help, you come find me. If you need some other kind of help, you go find Kelly. There's other people out there to go. You don't always have to go to one, but I do stress the fact that when you're going to go out there and see someone, make sure that you go out there and do your homework and make sure you're going to the right one. Make sure the person that you're trying to contact you want to get answers for resonates with you and you trust this person to get you the answers that you need. But if you're in the middle of a reading and you're not feeling it and you just feel like they're throwing you a bunch of bullshit, get up and walk away.
Yes.
I know it cost you some money, but you know what? Again, that was a lesson you needed to learn. To maybe next time I do this, I need to find out some more information. You know,
Yeah.
because we ourselves want to get you the best information, but not everybody out there who does this for the best intentions. Sometimes they're just trying to get into your pockets as much as they can. And that's a shameful thing. But we can't be in control of that. But we're here to tell you to look out for that. That's all. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
I totally
Do your
agree.
homework and just find the person that's best for you. So I hope everyone has a great day. And thank you for being here on the Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson and me. And as I tell everyone, be good and don't do any stupid shit. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This was Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. For more information about Kelly, visit her at www.kellyboyer.org, KELLYBOYER.org, or on Facebook and Instagram under kellyboyer.org. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson.